Hello guys, welcome to Just Vibey Vibes. Today we're talking about heartbreak. Since Valentine is going to be in a week's time, I thought about talking about heartbreak for those that don't have a Valentine, maybe that are going through heartbreak, or those that their hearts will be broken because who they thought is a Valentine ends up not being their Valentine. You know, that kind of thing, yeah. So let's talk. Sorry, I'm laughing. It's a serious matter. Let's talk about heartbreak. Okay. The first thing about heartbreak, the first time you experience heartbreak is when you're a child, mostly. And sometimes in fact, nobody remembers the very first heartbreak now. Because I think it would be, when as a child, you always cry. When you cry, your parents always come to your aid. So it could be when your mom is leaving you or your dad is leaving you and then you cry. But then you find out that no matter how hard you cry, they still left. They still did not carry you because they had to leave. Then that time you're like, so this cry doesn't work as much as I thought it would. So I think that would be the first heartbreak that any child would experience. And then also the next heartbreak, I think the one that most people remember would be also as a child, but now you're a big grown. Maybe you're going to school, you're going to nursery, and then you get there, and some children will just be happy and go in and all that. But some children might be crying, and your parents still have to leave you there. No matter how hard you cry, they will still have to leave you and go. So that them leaving you, would be like a form of heartbreak because you're a child. That's just your first stage. Then if you're a Nigerian child, your first heartbreak, not your first heartbreak, but the one when you're grown up, is when you're like, Mommy, I want to go with you. Mommy, I want to go with you. And Daddy, I want to go with you. And they're like, oh, okay, go and wear your shoe. As you run inside quickly, carry shoe as you're wearing the shoe. By the time you come out, they're gone. Nothing like that, I'm telling you. And the worst part is that as a child, you never learn. They have to do it over and over, at least a few times. And then you have to cry a bit before you now get it. So I'm sorry that I'm laughing about this heartbreak, but because these ones are not like they are not serious. You know what I mean? You grow up and you're like, and then you even do it to your children back to, they go and wear your shoe. And then by the time they come out, you're gone. Okay, so now let's get serious. Now, apart from those heartbreaks, so that's the first heartbreak that someone experiences when they're a child. And then as you grow up, or even as a child, there are other forms of heartbreak, like losing someone that you love, like or close to you, like failing exams, not getting the job you want to get. A lot of things happen that are heartbreak. But in this segment, I do not want to talk about other forms of heartbreak because heartbreak is like a lot. So today we're going to focus on romantic heartbreak. So that is when someone is in an intimate or love kind of relationship with someone and then they break your heart. So that's what we're going to talk about. And we're not just talking about maybe someone breaking your heart. We're talking about how to get over someone breaking your heart, how to get back. So how to heal faster than normal. So the first thing I would talk about is the transfer of love. I think there's a word for it, like when people call it your oh god, there's a word they call it, but I cannot remember, to be honest. So we're gonna I'll remember and I'll put it somewhere at this post. What they call people call it when someone transfers love, but mostly people say that when it is like sexual. But today we're just talking about transfer of love in general, because your first love and heartbreak might not be something sexual. It could just be like a relationship whereby your boyfriend and girlfriend, but maybe there's no sex involved in it, right? Rebound, yeah, they call it rebound. Yes, that's the word. Yes, I'd have to write it. So rebound is the word. So your rebound relationship. So how to actually rebound properly? So I would say you can transfer your love to like an adult, or someone of like another relationship, but also you can actually transfer your love to something else. Like some people focus on their studies. Let's say someone broke your heart, you're like, oh, you broke my heart, I'm going to read, I'm going to do very well, kind of like, yes, I'm going to focus on this. And then all their time they focus on their study, they focus on their career, they focus on, some women focus on women that are married, mostly their husband break their heart, because some people are in a continuous heartbreak situation. So when they just like, okay, I forgot about him, focus on my children, things like that. So all those things, so people transfer love that way. But I'm just going to talk about like how, okay, let's say you don't have your own children, or you're not married, or maybe you're married, but it's a relationship whereby you need to get out of because of the heartbreak, but you don't know how to get out of it, how to actually transfer love. The ways to transfer love for me, I would say look for something that replaces the things that you do with the person. So that's why people look for another person. But it could not be another person. You don't want to go to another person, that person now hurts you again, then you kind of now go to another person. But if that is how it works for you, then that's how it works for you. If you can know how to transfer love, like you can transfer love to another person and then be able to get back on your feet, because the point of this is just to get back on your feet. Once you get back on your feet, it might work out. Most people in relationship don't work out. If it doesn't work out, you can also be able to take back your love and not feel anything, like no hurt for that person, because the person, it wasn't the person's fault. It was not because you were even trying to get over, like, the person is not that important, I would say. It might end up being important and you might end up getting heartbroken, so you never can tell, because emotions are just, that's their emotions. But I would say transfer love, look for something. Like for me, I'm gonna just give an example. When I had to get over my first real heartbreak, right? I remember the day like it was yesterday. Not like it. I had this my first love. Like we're family friends, so we spent all our time together. We did work together, everything. So we're just inseparable. Like some people even thought like we were brothers and sisters. That's how much we spent time. We go everywhere together. So it got to a stage where he just stopped spending time with me. I don't even know. I used to know where he is at every time, but then I don't know where he is. I can be able to tell because I kind of know his routine, but he never went places with me anymore, and I would just be in. I know now it seems easy, but then I would cry and cry and cry and cry and cry. Because now I was done with WAEC and I was waiting for, I think, for to get into uni. So I was not doing anything. I was jobless. So I would just stay home and I would cry and cry and cry and cry. And then when it gets to evening for my parents to come back, I'll get ice block from the freezer and I'll put in my eye, I got my eyes, and I cry, my eyes swells up, right? So I'll put in my eyes, and my eye will go down, then I will shower and I will do makeup, to cover, especially eye makeup, to cover the makeup and my eyes so that my parents don't know that I was crying. So that used to be my routine then. And then one day there's this a family friend. He had like an attack, I was an accident, but they almost kidnapped, like kill him. So because of that, he was at home. So I went to visit him because obviously, like, so the wife that day went out. She was going for job hunting. So I went there. They had two children, Victor and Omi. I call him Apupu. So I went there. When I got there, the children were playing and disturbing their dad. So I was playing with them, and then it was time to get them to sleep in the afternoon. So while I was getting them to sleep, me, the heartbreak queen at that moment, I slept off. And then the children woke up, I was still sleeping. I slept till night. Like when I woke up, they were eating night food. Nigeria dinner is like night food. It's about 8 o'clock or something. That's when we're having our last food. So they were eating. That's when I woke up. And I was like, oh, why did you not wake me? The mom was like, oh, you look like you needed to sleep, because I actually hadn't had a good sleep. So because I was, children, they kind of just relieve you. So because I was playing with them, I didn't know when I slept off trying to get them to sleep. So when I was done and I wanted to go, she's like, I should wait for her. So I ate, because they are very close to us. So I ate there, and then I was on my way back. Then she said she would follow me. So then she looked at me. She said, what are you thinking about? That you now look, what has made you dry like this and now you look ugly? That was how, in Nigeria, they will call you and like, she told me that I now look ugly, that I've dried, that whatever I'm thinking about, I should just stop it. I was like, whoa, that's when I knew that I have really gone through it, that I'm sure I have dried up. I was very, very skinny then. So if someone says I have lost more weight, then obviously I'm looking like a skeleton or something like that. So from that day, what I did it unconsciously. So I would just go back to her house every day, and I'll play with the children. I'll look after the children because they were still very young. So I'll look after them. They were not even going to school then yet. So they were like 2 and just growing, like just a baby that's not even up to a year. So I would look after them. I would everything. Like I just transferred my love. Like I just transferred my time to them, and then all my love to them, that I didn't even think about the heartbreak. Like he was important. I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking, bath, go to meet them, play with them, just be with them that day. So that was how I was able to transfer my love. So then I learned then that I used to always say, people that have younger ones or children, they should never go through heartbreak because it's so easy. So it kind of made me understand why women will stay in a bad relationship and say they're staying for their children and just leave the husband to do maybe whatever he's doing and just focus on the children. So I did understand that from that. But it's not only so, you can also transfer your love to children. Children are the best just because they will keep you so busy on your toes that you never have time to think, no time to worry about it. But if there's no children, or you don't like children, or you don't have like anything, you can look for somebody else too. So you can date somebody. That is also another thing I've done. So you can date someone that finds you attractive. You don't have to take the relationship to another level. You just have to, whenever you want to call the guy, you call that person, or the girl, you call that person. Whenever anything you want to do that has to do with that person, you call the other person instead of the intended party. So whatever you want to do, so from there you keep getting yourself busy, so that if normally you wake up in the morning and then maybe you get a morning text message, then make sure you communicate it to that person that you like. Morning text message, they send you the message, or you send them a message rather. Anything you want to do with this other person, you just transfer the love to them. So that would help you to get back strong again, so that way you don't be in a heartbreak situation but you can't get over it, or you keep begging someone, or you keep on going back. Because some people, they will have relationship for like 10 years or a long period of time, but then they keep on breaking up and making up because they cannot live without that person. They keep on going to beg. Actually, there's nobody you can't live without. It's just how life will be without that person. So maybe they cannot imagine life without that person. They have not gotten the strength to get over it. So they will just keep on, going back. So the point of this is to avoid that, so that you can get back on yourself. And if you guys have to come back again, that way, whatever it was that caused the heartbreak will not happen again, because there will be proper communication and you've healed. So that way the person will know that, okay, you know yourself what. Because you don't want a situation whereby, a situation where someone knows, if someone knows that you cannot live there and the person is a user, you're just going to be wrapped around their fingers and they're going to continually treat you bad. Okay, so now let's go to the other, like another way of how to, this one is how to get out of a bad relationship. How to break your own heart. I know, right? It sounds weird. Okay, how to break your own heart. For me, I started doing that after I lost my mom, because it's like when you lose someone that you're so close to, it's like, for me, it's like a part of my heart died too. So it just felt like people were just like, nobody was, like, there's nobody. I realized that there's nobody you cannot live without, obviously. That is why they say you have to, like, marriages and relationship, for them to work out, you have to want to not live without that person. You have to not want to live without that person. You know what I mean? You have to work. It's like people wanting to be together all the time. So that's where the work comes together for you to be able to keep the relationship going. It's not like, oh, I can't live with that person. No, it's I don't want to live without that person. I don't want to find out how life would be without that person. So it should be like a conscious effort to keep yourself together, not feeling like, oh, if you leave the person now, because if someone dies tomorrow, you're still going to, life might be hard, but you're still going to go on. I know that sounds sad, but such is life. Okay, so now, how to break your own heart. This is important for people that are in bad relationship, if you want to stop a cycle from continuing. Because you notice as you grow up that sometimes you keep on dating the same people over and over again. When I mean the same people, it's not same person, just same character. So it could be sometimes because of daddy issues, mommy issues, or because you end up dating someone like your father or someone like your mother and things like that. Anyway, when you grow, like you realize that those are the things. So there are some things that maybe if your first relationship was an abuser, you end up dating people that are abusers, and they will all seem sweet in the beginning, and then they start abusing. You're like, why do I keep on ending with these same people? No, it is a cycle, and for you to break cycles, sometimes you have to break your own heart. So it's like you get attached to people, but in order for you to break your heart, you need to have pride. If you don't have pride, don't do it. Transfer love. Transfer of love is always good, but the problem with breaking a cycle is that you transfer your love to exactly that same person, and then it will just continue like that. But if you can do that and then get out of your transfer it to not a relationship, but to a career, or to children, or to friendship, or to something else that is not like a sexual kind of relationship, then that's where you can have the time to, because this thing is, you need the time to analyze, why am I doing this? Why is this happening? And then that's another thing I'm going to say, you need to write down what you want in a relationship. Not just getting at it. You need to say, you need to take pen, write out what you want in a man. Not the things that are later, like, oh, he should be tall, he should be this, he should be rich. Things, characteristics that you want. If you cannot do without someone being rich, then maybe write that down. But the important things. That's what I'm saying. Write what you want in a man, write what you want in a woman. It's important to write it down, because when you write it down, your mind is according to, there's this thing that Brovena sent, is your mind is like the soil. So when you put something in your mind, it grows. So whatever you think about, that's why your thoughts are important. So if you write it down, it's kind of like you've started planting it, the seed, and then you see that it will start growing. You'll be surprised how you attract someone that is exactly the kind of person that you wanted. Okay, so we're going to move over to how to break your heart, because we still haven't talked about that. How to break your own heart is, okay, the first thing you have to have pride, a lot of pride, like that kind of pride whereby if you tell someone it is over, you would never go back to them, because the dynamic of a relationship will change the moment you break up with someone and you go back and beg them. Now you're the slave, they're the master. Literally, don't do that. Like, don't break up except you're ready. So you have to take your time. In order to break your heart, you have to be ready. So you have to take your time. Even if it's 6 months, take your time and be ready. If it's 1 year, take your time and be ready. Whatever you need to get set to be ready, do it. When you say it's over, you should have good reason, obviously. Before you break your heart, it should be something that is serious. Then you break your own heart. In a way, kind of, for me, because I have pride, so if I break my heart, it's kind of like it's better I do it before. I can see the handwriting on the wall. I can see maybe things are changing, and like things I've been complaining about, same thing is not happening. I'm like, okay, I'm done. So when I break my heart, it's because it has passed something, like it's something I know that I cannot deal with. And so I just do it, and then I'm hurt, I'm crying, but I'm the cause of my cry. I'm the cause, because I'm the one that decided that, okay, it's over. But when you do it, because I have too much pride, so I'm not going back to beg. Like, I'm not begging. So then I would rather suffer. So for me, I feel like pride is important for you not to go back and beg. Because if you do that, then you would have been better off just staying in that relationship and not breaking it up. And also, don't form in the habit of, oh, it's over, it's over. Some people do that, every little thing is over. Especially girls, don't do that. That's really bad thing. That's not mature. So you have to think about things before you do, and be serious about things when you do them. Okay, so now you have to have pride. Now, when you break your own heart, it would hurt. Obviously, it will hurt. You will cry. You will feel stupid. But just make sure you've set things in place. Things that you get over it. Just, you have to try to get over it. So when you break your own heart, you can actually break your own heart and then do the transfer of love if need be. Whatever you need to get back on your feet. But when you do that, don't just rush into another relationship. Take your time and like reflect on the things. Because there was a time, like a cycle, I keep on dating the same people. Sometimes I would date someone, we'll just start even talking. Maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, I'm like, this is not working. I'm done. Like, so there was, because I realized that there was something in my life, I'm not going to say what that is, that I needed to stop. That there was something I was doing. Okay, I would say it. I was attracted mostly, I think, to people that needed that damage in a way, that needed someone to help them or heal them or something. I don't know. So then I realized I keep on doing, like, I keep on dating people maybe out of pity or something like that, or because I want to help them with something. And so then I had to break that cycle. So so I had to like reflect and think, why am I doing this? If you've not seen my video on reflection, you need to see it so that you can be able to do this. So breaking your own heart or transfer of love, I would always say go with transfer of love, because you have to be very, very strong for you to be able to break your own heart. It's not an easy thing to do. So transfer of love is the safest way. So you transfer your love, that's how to deal with heartbreak. Then you can get back on your feet and take your time so that you don't keep on making the same mistakes. And also in the process, don't lose someone that is, or miss the chance of being with a great person, because you end up being attracted to the same thing. So you kind of have to reason, why am I being attracted to this particular kind of people, this particular kind of person? I realized I go out from this because of this. I go back, it's exactly the same thing. So you have to take your time and reflect, so that way when you go into another relationship, it will be better and more important. And if that one too, the next one you go into is not exactly what you want, now then you write. So you have to keep on updating your list until, I'm not saying you can get 100% what you want, but the list should not be like money or all this kind of rubbish. It should be something like things that are really, really good, like things that that behavioral wise, or things like that, things that will make you happy. So you write those things down, and that way You would attract it. You won't be surprised how it's going to happen. So I hope this video helps on how to deal with heartbreak and how to transfer your love or break your own heart, depending on which way you want to go, and how to take time to yourself to reflect, and so that you don't end up having a cycle like seeing people over and over and over again. Until next week, I'll see you guys. Please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share. Have a lovely Valentine. Mwah.